says, "Will Trey be our starting QB next this season? I hope they give the kid a fair chance." So, Larry, do you want to talk quarterbacks here real quick? What do you think?
Sure. Um, will Trey be? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think Trey should be able to, if he's continuing to improve, he absolutely should be the starting quarterback. He should absolutely beat out Sam Darnold. I think Brock Purdy, even the most optimistic person, doesn't see Brock Purdy back until October, I think. So Trey's going to have a month with a really, really talented offense to show what he's got. So I'd say fear not. He's going to, but I don't think it's going to be handed to him. So if by chance Sam Darnold looks awesome in this offense and outplays Trey, then Sam Darnold is probably going to start at the beginning of the year because
Yeah.
Trey is a really good prospect, but they're gonna, I think Shanahan's gonna, this team's too much of a Super Bowl trajectory to just throw Trey out there if Darnold really beats him out. But I think Trey will wind up beating Darnold out because Darnold's not that accurate. He doesn't know the offense as well as Trey. He hasn't been in the offense as long. He hasn't had the reps with the receivers. Trey should be so far ahead of him in so many aspects of Shanahan's offense that I expect Trey to badly outplay Darnold, to win that starting job, to play pretty good football but inconsistent football in the preseason, and then get a little bit better as it goes. I think it's going to be a really interesting thing though when we get to October, because I think even if the Niners are winning, if they're scoring in the 20s, there might be a sentiment to go back to Brock because the team was scoring in the 30s
Yeah.
with him last year. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But yes, I think Trey will be the starter in September.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think the conversation with Purdy and all of that is ways down the road. I think the conversation about directly who's going to start week one, if I was a betting man, I would probably bet on Trey Lance today. But like you said, I don't think it's going to be handed to him. And in some ways, I think he's got his work cut out for him. I don't think the highest of Sam Darnold, but there's some talent and ability to Sam Darnold that in the right situation, he could be a successful player. We haven't seen him put it together yet in the NFL, but he's also fairly young. And in a lot of ways, he's similar to Trey Lance in terms of the sense that he has a lot of physical talent. That's why he was the third pick in the draft. I would put my money on Trey Lance ultimately winning and being the starter. I don't know if he badly outplays Darnold in camp. I hope he does, by the way, Larry, but I don't know if that exactly happens. But if I had to put my money on
He
somebody
should.
starting week one, it would be Trey Lance. Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if Darnold outplays Trey Lance. This will be a bad sign.
Yeah, that would be a bad sign. I don't expect that to happen. I don't think you do either. But I don't have you.
No.
There he is.
No, I expect Trey to outplay Darnold.
Titus Moeller says, at Vish Kumaran, given their positional emphasis in free agency, where do you think the 49ers will place their focus in the draft? Larry Krueger. Given their positional emphasis on free agency, where do you think the 49ers will place
defensive ends, defensive backs? I think they'll get a couple linemen, but offensive linemen. But I think you're going to see them go for defensive ends, edge rushers, and defensive backs, safeties, and corners. I think they'll take multiple defensive backs. I think they'll take multiple edge rushers. And I love this edge rusher class. I think it's one of the best group of edge rushers I've seen in a while. I really like the group.
Top to bottom, right? Top to bottom. I 100% agree with you, Krug. I think they'll take a safety too. They need some young talent there to be developed there for sure. And then I think there will be some developmental offensive line prospects picked as well. I don't know if they would look at anybody as, a guy that's drafted to be a starter, but a lot of depth will be drafted in those positions. I'm with you.